Today we're taking a look at the new 2023 CP30 by Bowtech Archery. Just a reminder guys, head on over to mikesarchery.com to pick up any of our latest logo gear. We got plenty of hats and shirts as well as any gear you might need for your next adventure. Welcome back to Mike's Archery's YouTube, and we are here taking a look at the new 2023 lineup from Bowtech. And we have got the new CP30. These bows are all made in the USA by Bowtech out there in Oregon, and they are making a great looking set of bows. So let's get into the specs of the new CP30. Speeds on this bow are coming to you at 331 feet per second. The axle to axle on this bow, obviously a 30-inch axle to axle. Now the overall cam to cam length is coming in at 35.5, making this bow feel like a longer bow and shoot and hold like a longer axle to axle bow. Now the brace height on this bow is coming in at 6 3/4 of an inch, giving a nice stable platform, eliminating a lot of torque out of this shorter axle to axle bow. The reflex on the bow is 3 7/8. Bowtech is advertising the weight on this bow at 4.5 pounds, and we took it out of the box and threw it on the scale and got it at 4.8 with everything on it. And as we stripped the orbit dampeners off and a couple other little things, we got it down to 4.6, coming in pretty much right on spec of what they're advertising. Now Bowtech did redesign the cam for this year on the CP30, and it's got a little different look, but still a great feel to it. Built into that is still a module system that is going to take you in draw length from 25 inches all the way out to 30.5, fitting most archers and allowing a fairly short draw length person to get into this new CP30, but also topping out at that 30.5, getting a little longer draw length than just stopping at 30 like a lot of folks do. Now the draw weight options on this bow are going to come to you at a 50, 60, or 70 pound max. You are not able to get this bow in an 80 pound max. You're going to have to step up to one of their other 80 pound options if you're looking for that heavier weight, because this one's going to stop at a max weight of 70. Now that redesigned cam is still getting 85% let off and has got a really cool look to it. It offset the cables a little bit out from the center. It's a little different than what we've seen from them in the past. Still giving a great stability. That flex cable guard is also keeping the torque off of those cams as it spread out the stance on it a little bit. So the features on the CP30 are exactly what we expected to see from Bowtech, keeping in tradition with their DeadLock tuning system. Still one of the best tuning systems out there. It just makes it such an ease to be able to move that cam back and forth on that DeadLock system, taking out a paper tear, just allowing you to tune this bow easily and quickly, whether you're in the pro shop or at home. They did change it up with the dual lock pockets, allowing you to lock down those pockets in a positive position. It just gives it a good stable platform and a great shootability out of this bow. Now on that new cam is still the same rotating mod that they've had in the past, giving you that wide range of draw length adjustability, and you're also still getting that flip disc technology. So it's going to come set from the factory with a comfort setting, as all Bowtechs do. And then if you want that little extra bump of speed, then you can flip that disc over and get that performance setting, giving you a little harsher draw cycle, but also stepping you up with about 10 feet per second extra on the speed side of things. Now they kept with the integrated rest mounting system on the CP30, so you're able to use either the integrated ripcord or any other number of integrated rests out there on the market. As this becomes more standard, we're seeing more options out there. The CP30 continues with that ability. From there, you've got the clutch grip system, which they have had for the last several years. It is a great grip system that has got an excellent feel in your hand. And if you need to tune that grip, adjust it to a higher wrist or lower setting in the feel of that grip, you have that ability to order whatever clutch grip system that you need and get it to that perfect feel for your hand. They kept with the standard orbit dampeners on the CP30, allowing you to mount it on the side of the riser as well as the center back of the riser, giving you a few threaded hole options there to move those weights and dampening system around, just to give it a little more of a custom balance and feel. They kept with their traditional two-piece quiver mounting triangle bracket system. So if you like a two-piece quiver, you've got the ability to mount that directly to the riser, but keeping with the ability to put your quick detach quiver on there from any other manufacturer. They do have dual sight mounting positions, allowing you to move your sight up and down as well as in and out just a little bit to get that perfect sight picture that you need from your peep. and just line everything up in the way that you need it. They kept with the flex guard system, which just takes the torque off the cams and give this bow a great feel and shootability, getting it all the cables out of the way as the shot takes place. Along with the integrated rest mount, you still have the traditional 2-bolt system there on the side, so if you want to keep with one of the traditional rest mounts, you are able to use any rest on the market and mount to this bow, locking it down with 2 holes if it's got a big enough slot. From there, you've got a single string stop as typical, and then also a single stabilizer mount up front, and a couple extra threaded holes if you want to move some weights around or get some sidebars mounted on there. Now the CP30 comes to you in just a handful of colors. The standard color is going to be black or mossy oak DNA, which is what our sample here is in. You've got a few other camo options that you can order this bow in with subalpine, Realtree Edge, a QU Verde 2.0, or a Cryptek Altitude, making some great color options for you to customize this bow to whatever look you want to have. Now Bowtech is keeping with that same price point as last year, falling in there at $1,099 with their flagship model. So this CP30 at $1,100 gives you a nice value for a shorter axle-to-axle bow, but yet a little more shootability and longer axle than what we saw out of the CP28 last year. This is just a nice in-between bow that's going to fit most archers and have that typical feel in the middle of the road with that 30-inch axle-to-axle. From here, we're going to step over to the range and take a few shots out of this bow, give you a breakdown on the speeds with both the performance and the new smooth mod system, giving you a breakdown on the noise rating as well as the overall feel and shootability of this bow. As usual, we will be shooting this bow on 70 pounds at 29-inch draw length with the 85% setting on the cams, and going all the way from a 350 grain out to a 500 grain arrow. So we've stepped back here to the lane with the new CP30, and we're going to take a few shots over the chronograph, give you a breakdown of how this bow shoots as far as speed, and we did shoot this bow on both the comfort settings as well as the performance. What you're going to see is me shooting it on performance, as always on 29 inches with 70 pounds and 85% let off. We're going to start with that 400 grain arrow and then go back from 350 to 500. So let's take a shot out of it and see what it does here. All right, so on the performance setting, we're going to start there with a 400 grain arrow. This bow is getting 307. And when you back it up to 350 grains on that arrow, it took it up to 324 feet per second. So getting some really nice speeds out of this CP30. Again, 307 at 400 grains, and as we come down to the 450 grains, we got 292 feet per second. And then with a 500 grain arrow, we got 278 feet per second. Now that's with the performance setting. If you flip the flip disc over to comfort, you're obviously going to see about 10 feet per second slower. And on this bow at 350 grains on the arrow, we got 314 feet per second, which was 10 feet per second slower than on performance. And then with a 400 grain arrow, we got 297 feet per second, which again is 10 feet per second slower. And with a 450 grain, it was 280 feet per second, which was actually 12 feet per second slower. And then a 500 grain arrow, we got 267, which was 11 feet per second slower. So we're seeing it right there around that 10 feet per second. So if you're wanting that extra speed or you're just needing that extra performance, then by all means flip over to that performance disc setting, and that's going to allow you to get an extra 10 feet per second out of this CP30. Now it does give you a little harsher draw cycle, so if you're wanting that smoother and just easier draw curve to pull back through, then most certainly keep it on that comfort setting, which is where all the Bowtech bows come set from the factory, is with the flip disc on comfort. Now with that said, on a noise rating for this bow, we've got it in at 95.3 decibels, which is a fairly quiet bow. That's right there toward the bottom of things as far as noise rating. So we're seeing these bows come in really quiet this year, which is great for hunting, and also just nice because it doesn't make a lot of noise when it goes off. Now, as far as the draw cycle on this bow, the performance setting, as we said, is a little harsher, but in all reality, is still very shootable. Has a very good draw cycle and a good feel as you come back through there. Drops off a little heavier into the back and certainly holds that poundage a little longer, but overall still has a good feel. If you move it over to the comfort setting, I believe Bowtech's got some of the smoothest bows we've shot this year, with an exceptional feel to them. A really nice, really good smooth draw curve coming over, even on some of these shorter bows. Now, as far as the grip, they've got that clutch grip system, and that is a grip that we like here at Mike's Archery. It is definitely a good feeling grip, and if you want that slim, narrow, more target style grip that's going to sit in your hand right down the crease of your palm, you're not going to get any torque out of this grip, then the clutch grip system is still one of the better grips on the market. It has got a great feel if that's what you like. This bow is no different. If you want to be able to change out that clutch grip system to give a little different high wrist or lower wrist on it, you still have that ability to make those adjustments on the CP30. Now, as far as the hand shock on the aftershot of the bow, it is very dead in the hand. Even on performance setting, this bow is still very dead in the hand, and if you flip to the comfort, slowing it down a little bit doesn't hurt that at all, just gives it even a better feel after the shot, doesn't want to jump out of your hand at all, and doesn't give any vibration. Now, obviously, you weight this back up with a stabilizer system and all your accessories, it's going to take even more out of it, which is why we shoot these bows with nothing on them, just to give us a true feel of what the bow is like. And the CP30 does not disappoint with this new design cam system and the little longer axle to axle than that CP28. It has got a great feel coming over, a great feel after the shot, and obviously delivering some really nice performance out of this bow. So overall, if a 30-inch axle-to-axle bow and something from Bowtech is what you're looking for, then most certainly take a look at the CP30. They've got a great platform here that's shooting extremely well, delivering great performance with a great feel. And give us a call here at Mike's Archery. We'll be glad to put one in your hands.